Hello and welcome to the GCN Tech Show. This week we are asking the question, can a bike be too good for its rider? Some interesting answers to that one for sure. We have a load of great new tech, of course, including stuff from SRM and Officina Battaglin, among others, and we're also inducting a new product onto the GCN Wall of Fame. So what is hot in the tech world this week then? Well, no pun intended, but Shimano are. Literally, there's been a fire at their OsakA-Sakai city manufacturing plant, reportedly in the anodising section. 200 employees had to be evacuated, over 20 fire trucks turned up. Fortunately, no casualties have been reported. We just have to hope now, I guess, that the fire doesn't have any knock-on effects onto their production capacity. I don't know how that would affect the bike industry as a whole, but I can imagine it wouldn't be all that good. Right, now moving on, have a look at this photo and tell me what you see. Look, Keos pedals for a start, but have a look again. Yeah, I couldn't see anything either, but according to the Twitter feed of Lotto Soudal pro Adam Hansen, these are formerly top secret SRM powermeter pedals. Now, we have no details whatsoever, but given SRM's reputation, you'd have to imagine there's some pretty rock solid tech in there in order to warrant a move away from their crank-based measurement systems. Although, having said that, actually, the power meter market has swamped somewhat in recent years, and the patent that SRM had that allowed them almost a monopoly for a long time, actually, elapsed a number of years ago now. So maybe this is just another move to try and get ahead of the competition. Either way, we will see if we can do some investigating at the Giro d'Italia. Now, speaking of the Giro d'Italia, the name, if you've been around the sport for a while, Giovanni Battaglin, should sound familiar to you. Or at least it would sound familiar if I could pronounce it correctly. But anyway, Battaglin was a former professional rider who won the Giro Vuelta double in 1981, making him something of a legend. Anyway, brilliantly, after he retired from pro racing, he then went on to build bikes, brazing beautiful steel frames, including for riders like Stephen Roche, who famously won the Giro Tour Worlds Triple in 1987 on a bike that latterly survived the Matt Stevens treatment 27 years later. Anyway, all that's to say that Officina Battaglin have just launched their first ever disc frame set. It's called the Power Plus disc, and like all the Battaglins, it is still made from steel in Italy. This one is made from Columbus Spirit HSS tubing, Columbus being another Italian brand, of course. And I don't know about you, but I think that is one stunning looking frame set. Now, speaking of which, you might have noticed that John is not here today. Not that John is a stunning looking frame set. I mean, no offense, John, but anyway, John is not here, but he was at the Volta Catalunya. And while he was there, he spotted another stunning Italian frame set. That's the link. Among other things. Anyway, over to you, John. God, I'm getting flustered.
Now, I've just grabbed this DeRosa Protoss from Israeli Cycling Academy rider Zach Dempster. And basically, first of all, I want to mention the stunning paintwork. If you look up close, I'm hoping that my cameraman can get this. It's stunning glittery paintwork. It really does pop and stand out. Now let's move on to the actual bike though. Well, we've got a Shimano Dura-Ace 9150 group set, some Vision wheels, Schwal with tubular tyres, and then the power meter is an FSA power box, so that's in conjunction with Power to Max. And then my personal favourite, as ever, is in fact the race number holder here on the seat post. It's from Burt Composites. I've mentioned them a few times recently on the GCN Tech Show, and this is just another example of their fine work.
Can your bike be too good for you? It is an accusation that flies around from time to time that you might not in some way have earned your bike, irrespective of how much disposable income you might have. And all the gear and no idea is a serious putdown. I mean, no one wants to be called an Agni.
Dan?
What's up, mate?
Dan? Yeah, carried a lot of speed through that corner, didn't he?
Aero. But is there any truth in it? That is the question. Now, I got to thinking about this following the announcement a few weeks back that the Action Hagens Berman development team over in the US are going to be racing this year on aluminium specialised alley frame sets. Now, it's not exactly slumming it, I'll grant you, but the principle is a well-established one, that as you improve as a rider, so too your equipment should improve with you. I mean, it's even programmed into Zwift. The more time you spend on there, the more bikes you can unlock, particularly linked to the achievements that you make as well. But who does deserve an amazing bike then? Pro cyclists, for one, that would make sense. But what if you love riding your bike just as much as Peter Sagan? You just haven't been quite as blessed in the genetics department, meaning that no matter how hard you try, you will never be quite as fast. And believe me, I know exactly how that feels. Strikes me that if you put a minimum ability requirement on bike ownership, that would therefore be a little bit unfair. Anyone is deserving of a great bike. Now, we put this to you on social media, and the responses to the question have been pretty passionate, and on both sides of the debate, funnily enough. The first comment comes from Yong Ling, and they say, my concept is to buy whatever fits my current performance level. So I'll say I'm not worthy of riding an aero bike unless I can sustain a minimum of 35 kilometers an hour. So you see, going for the Zwift approach there, very, very self-disciplined. Predictably, you did have one or two people that were perhaps a little bit envious of other bike riders that were able to afford super nice bikes. But Helen Wilkie makes an interesting point here. She says, in essence, that there's something not quite right if you own an expensive bike, but you don't ride it. Now, I'm not entirely sure I agree with the riding part. I mean, for a start, poor old John would actually have to sell 10 of his 15 bikes at least. But actually for me, evolving that slightly to being about appreciation. You see, if you don't appreciate your bikes, then you're not deserving of them. In fact, if you don't love it, any bike is probably too good for you. Now, this comment here from Joe Donald Oib was really good. Logical, to the point. No, the bike cannot be too good for the rider because the bike is a tool. And it allows us to ride at the skill level we're at and to help improve our skills. So if it's a £500 bike or a £6,000 bike, if it gets you out and riding, that is all that matters. What I've enjoyed reading the most though, and what's really made me smile, is actually the majority of comments that seem to have come from riders who think that perhaps, yes, their bike could be too good for them, but that makes them really, really appreciate it. They feel lucky to have it, they love it, and that is what really matters. An example of which would be this from Gary Skinner. I thought this when I bought my Bianchi Ultra. A 50-year-old man on carbon, did I need it? Did I think it was far better than my riding? To be honest, yes, but I love it. It gives me loads of enjoyment. It's definitely made me quicker. And as an old mate used to say to me, if you want to have it, life's too short not to enjoy yourself. And then Chris Fair, another one. I didn't think I exactly managed to test the climbing potential of this lightweight bad boy, given that I'm 90 keys and 5'9", but it's so pretty though. And yeah, it's so pretty, Chris. Really pretty, in fact. Now, another reason that I've been thinking about this topic is because of mountain biking. Now, bear with me, right? So as technology improves, mountain bikes have basically got bigger and bigger and more capable. So wheels have got bigger, so you get more traction and more control. Suspension travel has got longer, tires have got wider. So basically the bikes have just got an awful lot faster, which is great, but my local trails are the same today as they were 20 years ago. Fantastic fun, but the hills haven't got any longer, the trails haven't got any tougher or harder. And so actually, if you ride them on a modern bells and whistles, all singing, all dancing mountain bike, it kind of makes it a little bit easy and maybe a little bit boring. However, if you ride them on an old school cross-country hardtail, they are fantastic fun and the bike makes the trails challenging. You see, and then in the winter, you ride them on a cross bike, and then it's even harder still. So in mountain biking, you get this weird situation where the bike might not be too good for the rider, but it can certainly be too good for the trails that you ride it on. Fortunately though, I don't think we have that on the road. So a faster road bike is gonna be faster no matter what. And that, I think, means it's more fun on flat roads or hilly roads. And if you go down the gravel route, I've still got to use that wretched name. Although, thank you very much for your suggestions. Do keep them coming in. I particularly liked Smart Casual the other day, because just like the dress code, no one knows what a gravel bike is either. Anyway, if you do go down the gravel route, then of course you'll be able to ride on a greater variety of roads than a road bike, so that'll be more fun. And a good gravel bike is more likely to be comfortable, certainly lighter, I would think, and therefore faster too. So no, for my money, a bike cannot be too good for the rider. A bike can be wasted on a rider, but only if it's not loved or not appreciated or not well looked after. But if you meet those criteria, for my money, you can have whatever bike you like. Make sure though, you let us know what you think down in the comment section. And also, let's have a vote on this. Up there, you can let us know your opinion. Is a bike, or can a bike be too good for the rider? Yes or no? It's a simple one. Get involved. What else have we got in the world of tech this week then? Well, it seems like the EF Education First Draft Pack presented by Cannondale team have got themselves some new team cars, notable for the fact that they're Teslas, so they are electric cars. Now, the team did say on their Twitter account that this was not an official sponsorship from Tesla, but Tesla are lending them the cars. Either way, it certainly looks like an interesting one because pro racing is a pretty challenging environment for the team cars as well as the riders. And then having electric cars kind of adds another dimension in, isn't it? So we will be watching this one with interest, and hopefully, as soon as we catch up with the team again, we'll be able to take a close look at those cars. Right, over on the GCN show this week, we mentioned that Zwift had released a super cool little teaser video that was suggesting that climbing was about to get supersized on Watopia with Alpe du Zwift. Well, we didn't have to wait long for the full release. It is out now, in fact. Alpe du Zwift is going to be 12 kilometers long, climbs 1,036 meters, meaning that the average gradient therefore is 8.5%, and it's got 21 hairpins. That's right. Now, to get to it, it will be from the Mayan Jungle Loop, and it's going to be open to Zwifters who are level 12 or higher. Now, we are getting towards the end of new tech this week, but we couldn't possibly go for a week without having a new smart casual bike. That's right, a new gravel bike. Although actually this Rocky Mountain Solo was released a couple of weeks ago, but I think it looks great. A real workhorse of a bike, but in the best possible sense. It's an aluminium frame, it's got one bike group set, the ability to swap between 700C, 650B wheels for that all-round versatility. And indeed, it's got rack mounts and mudguard / fender mounts as well. I think that looks great. Big thumbs up from me. Now, the final bit of new tech this week, we've got a big shout out to give to Michael Lowe in Canada because he sent through some of these. Check it out, look closely. 3D printed custom GCN bar end plugs. Those are awesome. Thanks, Michael. A set of those is going on one of my bikes. It is now time to induct another product onto the GCN Wall of Fame. Last week, it was the Humble Free Hub. This week, we're going all in with the iconic Spinergy Rev X wheels. That's right, these were true legends of the 90s racing scene. Launched all the way back in 1991, in fact. It was a carbon wheel with an aluminium rim, and it had 8 bladed spokes on there, and they were paired under tension to give the wheel its integrity. We will tackle the elephant in the room first. Were they any good? Well, I've never used a set, more's the pity, but apparently it's debatable, okay? So they certainly look mega aero, but they were supposedly a little bit on the flexy side, although Spinergy later released some little cross braces that you stuck in between the pairs of spokes that was supposed to stiffen them up somewhat. And they also weighed 1,900 grams per pair. But all that aside, they were adopted by a whole load of pro bike riders in the 90s, and in fact, they were still in use right up to when the UCI moved to ban them in 2001. Yes, that's right, who'd have thought the UCI would ban them? Apparently the reason being was concerns about safety. So there were rumours that they sometimes just detonated underneath riders. But given how many Spinergies you can still find knocking around on eBay today, I don't think that can be quite true. But the main reason, apparently, was rumours of decapitation, or at least fears of decapitation anyway, because those bladed spokes are bladed. Michele Bartoli, legendary Italian bike racer, almost lost a kneecap, allegedly. Anyway, The UCI moved to ban them, and more's the pity. But nevertheless, these are still as cool today as they were when they were launched 27 years ago. They may not have changed the world of tech, but they're flipping cool, aren't they? Oh yeah, so well deserving of a place on the GCN Wall of Fame. And don't you go talking about fashion over function at this point. If you haven't seen the GCN show, make sure you check it out. Anyway, do let us have your suggestions for next week's Wall of Fame inductee. Get involved in the comment section down below. Let us get stuck in to Bike of the Week now, shall we? Each week we give you 2 bikes and you have to choose which one you like the most and then vote. We have the results of last week, first of all, where we asked you to pick either a BMC Team Machine SLR01 or a Specialized S-Works Tarmac SL6 disc. Both bikes very, very catchily named, I think you'll agree. Anyway, the voting this week, for once, wasn't particularly close. We had a standout winner in second place with 36% of the vote. It was the BMC, meaning therefore that the Specialized was the runaway winner with 63% of the vote. So maybe the fact that it was brand spanking new caught your attention. Maybe it's because you're all Peter Sagan fans and not Greg Van Avermaet fans, but it's going to be interesting to see if either of those wins at this weekend's Tour of Flanders. All right, we're going to take a little break from our pro race bikes in Bike of the Week this week. We're going to go with Smart Casual. It's Gravel Bike Week. The revised brand new 3T Exploro flat mount with 1x group set and 650B wheels versus the Canyon Grail 2x 700C wheels and that handlebar. Although the 3T's got a pretty funky handlebar as well. It's their new Super Gaia gravel specific one. Very nice it is too. So there we go. Those are your 2 bikes. Beautiful, both of them. But which one is your favorite? Make sure you vote up there. Be very intrigued to see the results of this one. Okay, we are getting towards the end of the show now, but before we go, I got some results for you. We have had some mega unboxings up on the channel of late, and I've got the lucky job of announcing the 7 winners from the Sella San Marco unboxing from the other week. So are you ready? Listen out for your name. Listen closely, because I'll mispronounce it. Apologies for that. First up, the Super Comfort Asprade Racing Saddle. We've got 2 of those, one by Carl Evans and Dennis Klippel-Slokar, so congratulations to you both. Then we've got 2 Asprade Super Comfort Racing Wide Saddles, one by Vedran Verhovac and Antti Altkula, so congratulations to you both as well. And then we've still got 3 winners to go. You nervous? Yeah. I thought you might be. We've got 3 Sella San Marco short fit racing saddles, one by Marco Miguel, John Fraser, and Maximilian Cesarath. So congratulations to all 7 of you. If your name wasn't one of those, then don't worry, because you can still get involved and enter the Met Trenta 3K Carbon Helmet unboxing competition. So that one, we'll get involved quickly actually. We'll put the link to it in the description beneath this video. Okay, you ready for Bike Vault? John had the horn last week, but he's left it here. Oh God, it never gets any better, does it? Right then, without further ado, let's go straight up for the first one. It's from Muiz Hazani from Brunei Darussalam. It looks like a Specialized Alley. That is a beautiful looking bike, isn't it? We've got to say, is that Dura-Ace group set, nice set of Roval wheels on it, and pretty good backdrop, pedals level. I tell you what, I'm struggling to think of a reason why that is not a super nice bike. Oh God. Right, anyway, there we go. Congratulations, Muiz. Straight up, one bike, one super nice. Okay, next we've got this David King. He sent in a picture, of his Colnago Master from the 1980s, taken in West Blackdean, County Durham, in the north of England. That's a cool bike. I'm a sucker for a vintage Colnago. I'm not sure the composition of the picture is quite right though, David. I mean, we've got the basics right. We've got the chain in the big ring and in the 11. Oh, I don't know. I feel like we're not getting quite enough view of the bike nor the backdrop. So I'm going to say it's a nice, and I'm sorry because every fibre of my being screams that that is a super nice bike. But there we go, we've got to have our rules, so I'm going with it. Okay, next up we got this, Andy Sin with his dog Taka from the Netherlands. I love that photo, that's amazing. Thanks, Andy. You get a super nice just because of your dog. Although, in the background, we can see that his Argon 18 is pretty darn nice as well. SRM E-Tap group set by the look of it. I know it's out of focus, but you know, we want to see the dog, don't we really? But anyway, that is super cool. I like that very much. Right, next up, we've got this Time Eyes On with Campagnolo Super Record and lightweight wheels. That is a serious bit of kit, isn't it? Look at that, Campagnolo group set. Those lightweight wheels always look the business, don't they? Position's beautiful, chains in the right gear, cranks level. The only thing I'm going to say here is that the backdrop is perhaps not quite as inspiring as some that we have been used to. Although, I do appreciate the fact that it is a clean backdrop, so we get to pervert your bike, quite frankly. But for that reason, I think I'm just gonna have to give it a nice. I know, but those are the rules. Don't ask me, have a go at Martin Ashton in the comments at GMBN if you really don't like it. No, don't do that, that would be a bit mean. It's a cool game. Right then, we've got this from Ken Tongmit, taken in Tokyo, Japan, during the Sakura Blossom, March 2018. That is cool. I didn't know that I liked Sakura Blossom, but I do. I also am always a sucker for a Trek Madon. Looks like you've almost got Lasty's paint job there. That makes it super nice for a start. That is one seriously cool bike. Dura-Ace Di2 group set on there. We've got Bontrager Aeolus 5 wheels. And I do like the Blossom. Also, you've taken the time to go get your stand for your bike, bring it outside, and compose the picture. Do you know what? It's a super nice. Right then, this last one, this is the perfect bike vault photo so far. Okay, this is textbook. This is from Jason Waterhouse. He says he lives in Arrowtown, New Zealand, and the photo is taken up Coronet Peak. Look at that photo. That is an absolute banger. We've got a beautiful bike and a beautiful backdrop. I can't fault it. That is absolutely wicked. So we've got a Cannondale Super 6, we've got rotor crank set on there, skin wall tyres always look cool, the position on the bike is perfect, the position of the brake levers is perfect, angle of the saddle is perfect. Yeah, that is the super nice photo I've seen yet on the Bike Vault. If you think you can beat it, then do make sure you submit your photos. There's an email address just on screen now. And just get involved. We absolutely love going through all of your pictures. If you sent one in and it hasn't been on the show yet, then just send it in again and we will inevitably get around to picking it one day. Good luck. Right, that is unfortunately it for the tech show this week. Do make sure you get involved in the comment section down below. Let us know whether you think a bike can be too good for you. And of course, don't forget, we need your nominations for the GCN Tech Wall of Fame as well. Now, if you want to watch another video, I've got one over on the GCN channel actually that you might fancy having a look at. It's pretty techy, it's pretty hardcore, but it tries to answer the question whether or not you can test positive through contaminated supplements. And it is an interesting one, I think. Make sure you check it out.